right to go? No. No? Councillors, Chief Executive Officer, General Managers, staff, and those that with COVID come in and out the room. Otherwise, generally, those watching via live stream to this, the ordinary meeting of Council. We have a number of apologies. An apology has been received from Councillor Bill Trevor. Can I have someone move the apology be accepted? Is moved Councillor Bartels, seconded Councillor Honour. All those in favour?
Aye.
So moved. Thanks, Tracy. The next one, apologies, is, well, actually, I'll deal with Tracy as well. Sorry, so Councillor McPhee is apology for the meeting. She'll be doing it via Teams and phone, so you'll hear that in the background there as well. So we don't have to do a motion in relation to that. However, we've got another apologies from Councillor Greg Barnes. So can I have someone move that apology from Councillor Barnes be accepted? Is Councillor Haberman seconded? Seconder is Councillor McLaughlin. All those in favour? Those
Aye.
against? Thanks, Tracy. All good. So carried. No other apologies. No, very good. So first of all, as a council and as a community, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we meet here today, and as well as their elders, both past, present and emerging. We also acknowledge those Australians and their families who have given the ultimate sacrifice of service to our country. Now, before we go into the official part of the meeting, I now welcome back Pastor Errol Buckle, and I now invite him to bring us an invocation for today. Thank you, Pastor.
Good morning to our mayor and our councillors and the guests, staff here as well. As we restart invocations and prayers, there's three things I'd like to do. Firstly, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the wider Christian community for having us back here. As such, I'm just a representative of that group. I want to make it clear as a second point, it's not me representing a church, it's the churches. And so every person who claims in the census to be Christian, that's who I'm here representing. And I'd like to continue by speaking to our elected officials predominantly. You are custodians, in essence, of the power of attorney of this region. We've all seen the dispute recently, I suppose, with Britney Spears and her dad, Jamie, as a conservator, which carries that same kind of responsibility. The Bible uses the word stewards and makes it very clear that there will always be a day of accountability or a day of reckoning. What I think is people forget that governments don't own any money. They manage it or they steward things that are entrusted to them by the people. The word custodians is actually a very appropriate word, for in measure we're all just custodians, even of our own lives. As we can see in circumstances around us, there's a great responsibility with accountability that comes with that role. The more transparent we are as leaders, the less anxiety people will have. And if we understand the process of life, anxiety leads to fear, fear to anger, and anger leads to violence. So if we can reduce that, it's going to help. As regional councillors, you are stewards for the people of this amazing region and the benefits it provides, including how you handle the finances this community entrusts to your care. I commend each of you, firstly, for your willingness to take on the responsibility. And my prayer is that you will be treated with respect and that people understand whether they agree or disagree with you, you have to make decisions. I encourage you to keep doing your best in this role as custodians and the responsibilities you have as members for our community. As a pastor, I see the Bible teaches respect for all those in authority, and accordingly I will teach that and do my best of my ability to make that commitment in my life and the wider church community. I hope you understand that does not mean I'll agree with everything you decide to do. That's a personal responsibility. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, in these challenging times, I pray for our councillors and the council staff, that they might have wisdom and courage with understanding and compassion in the days that lie ahead of us, as stewards and custodians of this region. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Buckle, and welcome back. Can I first have, in relation to the previous minutes, the confirmation of the minutes? So I now move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 27th of July 2021 be taken as read and confirmed. Can I have a seconder, please? Second is Councillor Haberman. All those in favour?
Aye.
Thanks, Tracy. Thank you. Those against? No. Thank you. The next item's declarations of conflict. So I now invite councillors to declare any conflict of interest in any items to be discussed in today's meeting. I'll kick off the first of all, and mine is in relation to item L1. So today I'm declaring a conflict of interest in this matter, and I will be leaving the room. After seeing the application, I took my own research and discovered that one of the applicants in relation to a person is related to a person who's involved in a high-profile public campaign against council. I'm concerned that whichever way I vote on this application, it could be misstrued. I've also discovered through careful due diligence that the relative to the applicant who I'm referring to provides professional services to a developer. Earlier this year, it was brought to my attention that the developer in question made a donation to my previous political campaign when I was the actual state member for Bundaberg. I was unaware at this time and only became aware of this donation earlier this year. The connection may be tenuous, but there could be a perception of undue influence. From abundance of caution, I declared this conflict and I will not be voting on this matter. As there is no need to vote in the matter and I'll be leaving the room, I'll go to the next councillor's part of conflict. So the next one is Councillor Honour.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a declarable conflict of interest pursuant to section 150E Q of the Local Government Act 2009. I wish to inform the meeting that in relation to item J1, the nature of the declarable conflict of interest is I, W.A. Honour, hold a Sunwater allocation of water that is capable of a similar trade to what is being discussed here today. And as a result of my declarable conflict of interest, I intend to leave the meeting while the matter is considered and voted on. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Honour. That's in relation to item J1. As Councillor Honour has indicated that he'll be vacating the room, in relation to item J1, there is no need to vote on the matter. Councillor Honour, I believe you have another item.
Yes, pursuant to section 150EQ of the Local Government Act 2009, I wish to inform the meeting that I have a declarable conflict of interest in regard to item K1. The nature of the declarable conflict of interest is I hold an open for development contract with council that has not been completed as yet, and as a result of my declarable conflict of interest, I intend to leave the meeting while the matter is considered and voted upon.
Thank you, Councillor Honour. As Councillor Honour has indicated that he will be leaving the room in relation to this matter, there is no need to vote on it. Councillor Honour, and do you have another matter?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, pursuant to section 150EQ of the Local Government Act 2009, I wish to inform the meeting that I have a declarable interest in the item L1. The nature of the declarable conflict of interest is that my domestic animals are cared for by Vet Cross, which I believe this company is possibly connected with Feeder Holdings that is mentioned in the report. And as a result of the declarable conflict of interest, I intend to leave the meeting while the matter is considered and voted upon. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So as Councillor Honour has indicated the item and that he'll be leaving the room, there is no need to vote on the matter. Next councillor is Councillor Mitchell. Thanks, Councillor Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Pursuant to Section 150EQ of the Local Government Act 2009, I wish to inform the meeting that I have a declarable conflict of interest. The nature of the conflict of interest is that my husband, Dale Mitchell, is employed as a mechanic at the East Depot, Bundaberg Regional Council. Having disclosed this conflict of interest, I believe that I can participate in the decision on the matter in the public's interest and intend to remain in the meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Mitchell. So, as Councillor Mitchell has indicated the type of conflict and that she'll be staying in the meeting, pursuant to Section 150EQ of the Act, Council has been informed of a declarable conflict of interest, and Councillor Mitchell has stated that she believes she can participate and vote on the matter. The other councillors must now decide whether Councillor Mitchell may participate in the decision about the matter, including voting on the matter, or must leave the meeting and stay away, which the eligible councillors, whilst the eligible councillors discuss and vote on the matter. Can I please have a show of hands for those councillors who determine that Councillor Mitchell may participate in the meeting, including voting on the matter?
Aye.
Sorry, yeah, thanks, Councillor. Oh, yours,
Which item was that one?
H1.
H1.
One.
They're all to do with procurements, Councillor Honour.
Well, I have
And you haven't declared.
members that work at council, but I don't know that they work in that area. So, yes.
Well, what we'll do is we'll deal with Councillor Mitchell's first, and then, sorry, Councillor Mitchell, yeah. So, can I please have I know what you're saying, Councillor, whether because you may have another conflict, whether you can vote on that particular conflict. So,
Okay,
yeah, so I'll just,
it's okay.
yeah, I think it's pretty okay. So, can I please have a show of hands for those councillors who determine that thanks for your patience, Councillor Mitchell, the Councillor Mitchell can participate in the meeting involving voting on the matter. All those for, yeah, those against, yeah. Councillor McPhee was for, wasn't it? Yep.
Yes.
Yep, will do. Thank you, Councillor. So, Council has determined that Councillor Mitchell can stay and vote on the matter. Thanks, Councillor Mitchell. Over to you, Councillor.
Thank you. My second one, pursuant to Section 150EQ of the Local Government Act 2009, I wish to inform the meeting again that I have another declarable conflict of interest in the matter H2, Specialised Supplier Arrangement, Massey Ferguson Parts and Repairs. The nature of the conflict of interest is that my husband, Dale Mitchell, is employed as a mechanic for Bundaberg Regional Council. But having disclosed this conflict of interest, I believe that I can participate in the decision on the matter in the public's interest and intend to stay in the room.
Thanks, Councillor Mitchell. As this is in relation to H2, and pursuant to Section 150EQ of the Act, Council has been informed of a declarable conflict of interest, and Councillor Mitchell has stated that she believes that she can participate and vote on the matter. The other councillors must now decide whether Councillor Mitchell may participate in the decision about the matter, including voting on the matter, or must leave the meeting and stay away, whilst the eligible councillors discuss and vote on the matter. So, can I have a please show of hands for those councillors who determine that Councillor Mitchell may participate in the meeting, including voting on the matter?
Aye.
Thanks, Tracy. That's good. So we don't have to go to the next bit. So Council has determined that Councillor Mitchell is able to remain in the room in relation to this matter and vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you. So the third matter, I have a declarable conflict of interest under Section 150EQ of the Local Government Act 2009, is item H3, Specialised Supplier Arrangement, Howard Parts and Repairs. Once again, I'm declaring that my husband, Dale Mitchell, works for Council as a mechanic in the fleet section. However, I do believe that I can participate in this decision, and in the public's interest, I will remain in the room.
Thanks, Councillor Mitchell. So this is in relation to H3, and pursuant to Section 150EQ of the Act, Council has been informed of a declarable conflict of interest, and Councillor Mitchell has stated that she believes she can participate and vote on the matter. The other councillors now must decide whether Councillor Mitchell may participate in the decision about the matter, including voting on the matter, or must leave the meeting and stay away whilst the eligible councillors discuss and vote on the matter. Can I have a show of hands for those councillors who determine that Councillor Mitchell may participate in the meeting, including voting on the matter?
Aye.
Thank you. Unanimous. So the council has now determined that Councillor Mitchell may remain in the room and vote on the matter. Thanks very much. Now, any other councillors have any declarable conflicts that may have arisen? No? Any agenda? I just say that if there is something as we go through the agenda, I know we've had this, we've had briefing meetings and so forth. If there's anything, please always err on the side of caution. All right. The first item is item D1. It's in relation to a motion to the LGAQ conference, and I now move that the Mayor submits the following motion for consideration at the Local Government Association of Queensland Annual Conference 2021. The LGAQ calls on the state and federal governments to provide funding for local governments across Queensland to investigate and support the uptake of hydrogen use within their own operations and across local industry. 2, the state hydrogen fuel subsidy program to incentivise commercial use of hydrogen, for example, a subsidy of $1 for every kilo of commercial hydrogen when purchased in Queensland. And point 3, loan facilities for private investment in hydrogen refuelling infrastructure across Queensland. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor Honour. The motion is in relation to obviously Bundaberg Regional Council and its lead in relation to the hydrogen industry and the number of interests that we have received here, but also then this motion to be addressed at the state conference in relation to what we can get from support from the other levels of government, not just for us, but for other councils across Queensland. Does any council wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. I'll now put the matter to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. Next item is a gift of land, actually. It's item D2. It's a gift of land 1 and 2 Ford Street, Bundaberg South. So I now move that 1, Council accepts the gift of 1 and 3 Ford Street, Bundaberg South, lot 17 and 18 on RP 59785, and 2, the Chief Executive Officer be authorised to enter into a deed of gift with the landowner and attend to all things necessary to complete the transfer of the land to Council. Can I have a seconder, please? The seconder is Councillor Haberman. Does any other council wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. The next items from the organisational services. Item F1, I call Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and good morning to everybody this morning. Recommendation is that the financial summary, as at the 2nd of August 2021, be noted by the Council.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Can I have a seconder, please? A seconder is Councillor Mitchell. Councillor Cooper, you speak further in relation to the motion.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. In accordance with Section 204 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, a financial report must be presented to Council on a monthly basis. The attached financial report contains the financial summary and associated commentary as at the 2nd of August 2021.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Any other council wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. Next item is item F2. I call Councillor Cooper.
Thank you again, Mr Mayor. The recommendation is that 1, pursuant to section 170 in brackets 3, section 173 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, Council adopt the amended budget as tabled, and 2, the Council endorse the following policies. A, Revenue Policy version 5 in brackets policy number CP-3-001 end of brackets, and B, Revenue Statement version 4 in brackets policy number CP-3-004.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor McLaughlin. Councillor Cooper, you should speak further in relation to the motion.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. At the 30th of June 2021, there were a range of capital projects in progress. The budget amendment seeks to carry over the balance of these projects into the current 21-22 financial year. All budget amendments are required to have the full suite of budget documents, including the rectification of the revenue statement and the revenue policy. Recurrent. The budget amendment is limited to the provisioning of the capital projects. However, it will have a minor impact on the Council's long-term financial forecast, including interest revenue, finance costs and depreciation. The long-term financial forecast continues to project a positive operational surplus ratio within the target range.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Any other councillor wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No, I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? So moved. Next item is item G1. I call Councillor Cooper.
Yeah, the recommendation that 1, Council apply the exception contained in section 236 in brackets 1 in brackets A in brackets I of the Local Government Regulation 2012 in brackets Queensland to the disposal of lot 196 on RP 24483 and 2. The Chief Executive Officer be authorised to enter into a contract of sale with the buyer and attend to all items required to finalise the sale of the lot.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor Honour. Councillor Cooper, you should speak further in relation to the item.
Yes, the background of the item is that Council is the freehold owner of lot 196 on RP 24483 at 15 Hull Street, Buxton. Council has previously resolved to sell the lot as it is surplus to Council's need. The lot was previously offered for sale by auction, at which the auction was not successful and the lot was passed in. Council has received an offer to purchase the lot. The offer to purchase the lot presented to Council is at market value.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Any councillors wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No, I'll just put it to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? No, so moved. Next item is item G2. It's a council policy review matter. I call Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Recommendation is that Council 1, rescind the following policies: Hardship Policy version 3, Procurement Policy version 2.1 and Buy Locally Policy version 3. 2, adopt the following policies: the Hardship Policy version 4, the Procurement Policy version 3 and the Buy Local Policy version 4.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Can I have a seconder, please? Second is Councillor Haberman. Councillor Cooper, you speak further in relation to the matter.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Council has previously adopted a suite of council policies. These policies adopted by Council ensure compliance with the legislative requirements, provide guidelines on matters which may impact the community or support Council's strategic objectives or assist in the delegated decisions making of Council staff.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Any other councillor wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No, I'll now put the matter to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No, so moved. The next few items were to be moved by the Deputy Mayor, but his apologies for today. They're item in relation to infrastructure services and mainly of a financial nature. Item H1, I call Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The recommendation is that Council enter into arrangement with Format Machinery Proprietary Limited, the supply of Kubota parts and repairs without first inviting written tenders pursuant to section 235B of the Local Government Regulation 2012, and this arrangement be made for a period of 3 years from September 2021 to September 2024.
Thanks, Councillor Trevor. Seconder is Councillor Honour. Councillor Cooper, speak further in relation to the matter.
Yeah, basically, Council has within its fleet 25 plant items from Kubota brand and 25 plant items serviced in-house by Council Fleet Service Department, with specialised repairs being undertaken by the manufacturer authorised. Fleet Service policy is the only use genuine parts and factory authorised repairs to ensure the quality and the maintenance and warranty of these items.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Any other councillors to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No, just for clarification, Councillor Cooper, this is a local business?
Yes, it is.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. I'll now put the matter to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. Next item is item H2. I called Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The recommendation is that Council enter into arrangement with Sang's sales and service from supply of Massey Ferguson parts and repairs without first inviting written tenders pursuant to section 235 in brackets B to the Local Government Regulation 2012. This arrangement be made for a period of 3 years from September 2021 to September 2024.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor Bartels. Councillor Cooper, you speak further in relation to the motion.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. Council has within its fleet 7 plant items from Massey Ferguson brand. These 7 plant items and services in-house by Council Fleet Service Department, with the specialised repairs being undertaken by the manufacturer authorised agent. Fleet Services policy is to only use genuine parts and the factory authorised repairs to ensure quality and to maintain warranty integrity. The previous specialised supply arrangement with Sang's sales and service under tender -0458 was approved by the Procurement Board and endorsed by the Council in 2018. This is due to expire on the 24th of September 2021. The submission and resolving contract will replace the arrangement from the effective date.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Any other councillors wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. I'll now put the matter to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? So moved. Next item is also in relation to H3, specialised supply arrangement. I called Councillor Cooper.
Again, the recommendation is the Council enter into an arrangement with the NQAS power shed for the supply of Howard parts and repairs without first inviting written tenders pursuant to section 235 in brackets B of the Local Government Regulation 2012, and the arrangement be made for a period of 3 years from September 2021 to September 2024.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Can I have a seconder, please? Second is Councillor Haberman. Councillor Cooper, wish to speak further?
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Basically the same as the previous ones. This council has within its fleet 21 plant items from Howard brand, 21 of the plant services in-house fleet service department with serviced by the in-house department. Specialised repairs only use genuine parts as previously and factory authorised repairs as previously. A previous specialised supply arrangement with NQAS power shed for Howard parts and repairs under tender 0456 was approved by the Procurement Board and endorses by Council in 2018. This issue is due to expire on the 24th of September 2021. The submission and resulting contract will replace the arrangements from the effective date.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Any other councillor wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. The next item is J1. J1, Councillor Honour will be leaving the room. Yes, yeah, when we get to those ones, yep. Thanks, Councillor Honour. So item J1 is temporary transfer of water allocation. I call Councillor Bartels. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move the recommendation that 1, Council endorse at 220 megalitres from water allocation WA 7190 on CP AP 6975 be made available by the way of auction for temporary transfer for the 2021-2022 water year, and 2, the Chief Executive Officer be authorised to do all things necessary to enable the auction to occur and facilitate the temporary transfer.
Thanks, Councillor Bartels. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor Mitchell. Councillor Bartels, do you wish to speak further in relation to the motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
The background behind this report is that Council has been approached by some farmers requesting if Council has any water available to purchase. In response to those requests, Council has identified that its water allocation of 1,000 megalitres, WA 7190 on CP AP 6975, purchased to ensure future water supply for Bundaberg Regional Council area, is surplus to Council's needs for this year ending 30th of June 2022. The announced allocation for medium priority water in the Bundaberg scheme is currently 22%, meaning Council has 220 megalitres available for temporary transfer. Allowing the water to be temporary transfer means that Council is making available additional water for farmers who would otherwise potentially be unused, obtaining some financial benefit for the best use of a community asset, and by using a water broker and auction process, Council is removed from the process, ensuring that it's open and transparent. Temporary transfer is available to all interested parties.
Thanks, Councillor Bartels. Any other councillors to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. Next item is item K1. It's a request for variation of terms to open development. So I now move that Gairlock Developments Proprietary Limited be advised that Council does not agree to vary the Bundaberg Open for Development Infrastructure Agreement for DA 321.2008.50212.1. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor Bartels. Is for this matter here, I'll just ask for clarity, Mr. CEO, if you'd like to provide some information to the councillors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The applicant is trying to retrospectively amend an infrastructure agreement that was signed in September 2017, so almost 4 years ago. That infrastructure agreement has been amended by Council 3 times. The reasons actually for refusing to agree to the further amendment are the fact that the developer believes they can complete additional stages by the new completion date. The current completion date wasn't known at the time they entered into the agreement. The application was only for the stages they reasonably believed they could complete within the original time frame, whereas other developers applied for the remainder of their stages. And I think most importantly was that it was an oversight by the developer not to apply for the whole of the remaining development. Subsequently, the planners have assessed the request and are recommending that no further amendment be agreed to for the existing infrastructure agreement.
Thanks, Mr. CEO. Does any other councillors wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. All those in favour of the motion?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. The next item is item L1. I've identified a possible conflict and I'll be vacating the room. And Councillor Honour will be staying out. And what I'll do is, as far as a meeting procedure-wise, is ask the CEO to guide my fellow councillors through electing a chair for this matter, bearing in mind the Deputy Mayor is an apology for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, councillors, under Council Standing Orders Clause 2.1.3, council can nominate by mover and a seconder and a vote for someone to act as the acting chair for this item. Councillor Cooper. Seconder for that. Councillor Learmonth. All those in favour of Councillor Bartels chairing the meeting for this item? Thank you. Thanks, Tracy. Councillor Bartels.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. The next item on the agenda is item L1. It's from the Planning and Development Services. The subject is Waring Road, Bargara, material change of use for veterinary service and reconfiguring the lot for subdivision. I'd like to move the recommendation Development Application 525.2020.19.1 detailed below be decided as follows. The location details Waring Road, Bargara, real property description, Lot 5 on SP 259466, local government area, Bundaberg Regional Council. Details of the proposed development permit for combined MCU and ROL, so a material change of use and a reconfiguration of lot, veterinary service, subdivision and easement access. The decision details, the recommendation is the application be refused. We'll have a seconder for that motion. Thank you, Councillor McLaughlin. I'd like to hand over to the CEO for further background behind this reason.
Thanks, Councillor Bartels. There's a lot of information in this report, and councillors will also recall that the applicants were given the opportunity to come and address council informally at a consultation day probably a couple of months ago. I think the most pertinent information, albeit there is a lot of it, is on page 95, and I'll just read from the section that's highlighted as prematurity. As highlighted above and within the applicant's proposal, Council has not yet completed a local structure plan for the Bargara identified major urban growth area yet. The applicant within the submitted material recognises that no planning has been done for the area yet by submitting their own concept structure plan. Furthermore, the site is located outside of the priority infrastructure area, which identifies the area prioritised for the provision of trunk infrastructure to service the existing and assumed future urban development up to 2031. And it cannot be assumed that there is sufficient capacity in Council's existing infrastructure network to facilitate the proposed development. The proposed development requires Council to commit to infrastructure solutions, such as the proposed road access from Hughes Road, which prejudices Council's requirement to undertake community engagement as part of any local structure planning in an open, transparent and meaningful way. The proposed development also undermines the function and role of Bargara in the regional economy and proposes an expansion of existing activity centres beyond what is reasonably anticipated for the life of the Bundaberg Regional Council planning scheme. And it's considered that once the local area planning for the area bounded by Watson's Road, Seaview Road, Windermere Road and Hughes Road area has been undertaken, the best and highest use of both the site and area surrounding area will be identified. Infrastructure alignments and requirements will also be identified through this planning. Given the above, it's considered that the proposed development of the subject site for any type of development is premature, and further the development does not bring any overriding benefit in terms of community benefit, as it will not be delivering any infrastructure that might be used as trunk infrastructure when the surrounding area is developed. So I think that nicely encapsulates some of the reasons for the staff's recommendation to Council for refusal. Councillor Bartels.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Councillors, are there any queries or speakers against the refusal motion? Councillor Habman.
Thank you, Councillor Bartels. Just clarifying that there's no capacity to receive wastewater if this development went ahead.
That's my understanding from a discussion that I had earlier in the week with Council's planner, but I might just ask either Stuart or Michael just to clarify that if I could. Just get mic'd up.
Councillor, it's our understanding in the development group that currently the available treatment capacity at Bargara Wastewater Treatment Plant is committed to either approved development or development that's assumed to take place within the priority infrastructure area. Beyond that, the future servicing of areas outside of these two categories are dependent on Council's upcoming coastal sewer strategy.
Thanks, Michael.
Are there any other queries or speakers against the motion? Put the motion to the vote. Those for the refusal of this application?
Aye.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Sorry, 6 for, 1 against.
Can you read the names, please, Councillor Bartels?
Hands up again, please. Councillor Lemont, Councillor Cooper, Councillor Habman, Councillor McLaughlin, Councillor McPhee, Councillor Bartels for, and Councillor Mitchell against. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Bartels. Let's get the Mayor and Councillor Honour back.
Thanks, councillors. Thanks, Councillor Bartel as well. The next item's in relation to community and cultural services. It's item 01, creative regions. I call Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The recommendation is that 1, Council apply the exception contained in section 236 in brackets 1 in brackets B in brackets 2 of the Local Government Regulation 2020 and 2012, and 2, the Chief Executive Officer be authorised to enter into a lease to Creative Regions Proprietary Limited for part of Lot 1 on SP 199509.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper, in relation to the lease motion. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor Learmonth. Councillor Cooper, you speak further.
Yeah, just for a bit more detail, Mr Mayor. 1 Key Street, Bundaberg Central at Lot 1 on SP 199509 is a state-owned reserve for the park, which council is the trustee. Creative Regions Limited is a community organisation registered not-for-profit organisation. Council entered into a lease with the tenant on October 18, 2018, which expires on the 17th of October 2021. The tenant wishes to renew the lease for a period of 3 years. The proposed rent is less than the market value, which is acceptable under the Local Government Regulation 2012. Given that the lease is to a community group, rent is increased annually at 3%. The terms and conditions of the lease are to be as per the Council's standard terms. Council proposes to apply the exception to the tender /auction requirements contained in section 236 in brackets 1 in brackets B in brackets 2 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, given that the disposal is for the purpose of a lease to the community organisation.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper, in relation to the lease matter before us. Before any other councillors having the opportunity to raise any queries to speak against the motion, Councillor Learmonth, did you want to say some words in relation to Creative Regions? Thanks, Councillor Learmonth. Now the council wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. I'll now put the matter to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. The next item is a lease matter. Item 02. I call Councillor Cooper.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. The recommendation that 1, Council apply the exception contained in section 236 in brackets 1 in brackets B in brackets 2 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, and 2, the Chief Executive Officer be authorised to enter into a lease with Bundaberg Fruit and Vegetable Growers Corporation Limited for part of the Bargara Administration Centre known as Lot 2 on SP 3144446.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor McLaughlin. Councillor Cooper, you speak further in relation to the matter.
Yeah, Council's the freehold owner, Mr Mayor, at Lot 2 on SP 314446, known as 160 Hughes Road, Bargara. The Bargara Administration Centre is a building on this land and is the home of the AgTech precinct. Bundaberg Fruit and Vegetable Growers Corporation Limited is the community organisation and not-for-profit organisation. BFVG has expressed interest in leasing 10 square metre office space within the property. Council is working towards commencement date of no earlier than the 17th of September 2021. The lease will be for an initial period of 1 year with a 2-year option of 1 year, with 2 options of 1 year. The proposed rent is concessional rate for not-for-profit organisations at this property, which is acceptable under the Local Government Regulation 2012, given that the lease is to a community group and an economic benefit to the Ag precinct will have for the region. Rent is increased at 2% and CPI, whichever is the higher. The terms and conditions of these leases are to be as per the Council standard terms. Council proposes to apply the exception to the tender auction requirement contained in section 2361 in brackets B in brackets 2 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, given that the disposal is for the purpose of the lease and the community organisation.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Any other councillor wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. Matters so moved. Next is a lease renewal, item 03. I call Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The recommendation is that 1, Council rescind Part 2 of the resolution made in relation to an item 01 lease renewal, Lot 1 on RP 146536 Bundaberg and District Meals on Wheels Incorporated on the 29th of June 2021 at its ordinary meeting. 2, that the Chief Executive Officer be authorised to enter into a 10-year lease to Bundaberg and District Meals on Wheels Incorporated over Lot 1 on RP 146536, and 2, the Chief Executive Officer be authorised to enter into a 10-year lease with a 1 by 10-year option to Bundaberg and District Meals on Wheels Incorporated over Lot 1 on RP 146536.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Can I have a seconder, please?
I will.
Yeah, Councillor McPhee. Councillor Cooper, wish to speak further in relation to the motion?
Yeah, the background to this one, Mr Mayor, is Council is the freehold owner on Lot 1 on RP 146536 at 10 Eastgate Street, East Bundaberg. Council previously made a resolution on 29th 2021 to renew the lease for the term of 10 years. However, the resolution does not reflect the term required by the leasee of 10 years. However, the leasee is applying for a substantial grant to expand their building to allow the item to meet increased demand on their services. The leasee has advised that the lease for 10 years term will not meet the requirement of the grant funding. The leasee wishes to enter into a new lease for the term of 10 years with a further 10 years. Rent is proposed to be at the community rate. The leasee is also responsible for 100% of outgoings. It is proposed that the remaining terms of the lease will be on Council's standard lease. Council has previously applied the exception to the tender /auction requirement contained in section 236 in brackets 1, in brackets B, in brackets 2 of the Local Government Resolution 2012, given that the disposal of the purpose of the renewal, the lease of the land and is to a community organisation.
Thanks, Councillor Cooper. Any other councillor wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. I'll now put the matter to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. The next item of business is item 04, Specialised Supplier Arrangement. I call Councillor Learmont.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Recommendation is the Council engage the Harbour Agency Private Limited ABN 36001672555 for the provision of entertainment acts for the 2021 Milby Festival without first seeking written quotations pursuant to Section 235B of the Local Government Act 2012.
Thanks, Councillor Lear. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor McLaughlin. Councillor Lear, want to speak further in relation to the matter?
Yes, Mr Mayor, just a slight amendment to the background. It's only an extra act. Emily Warramurra will be included in there. So Milby Festival returns in 2021 from the 29th of October to the 7th of November 2021. The festival will celebrate the region's iconic turtle encounters and the First Nation connection to saltwater and freshwater country, making the festival unique to this region. The 2021 program will feature new and returning elements which include March of the Reef launch event, Milby at the Lighthouse, Indigenous dining experience, Milby Gala Ball and film program and tours. The festival will also provide a range of opportunities for artists, arts and community organisations to get involved. Tourism and events seek a decision by Council to enter an arrangement with the Harbour Agency to engage specialist entertainment acts to feature for the duration of the festival, including Alex Lloyd, Ash Grummel and Emily Warramurra, who are solely represented by the Harbour Agency. The nature of the specialised services and representation makes it unreasonable to seek competitive quotations. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Lear. Any other councillor wish to raise any queries or speak against the motion? No. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. Item 05 has been removed as obviously dealing with a COVID matter in relation to that particular specialised supply arrangement. We now go into the next two items. They are confidential in nature and pursuant to Section 254J 3 in brackets of the Local Government Regulation 2012. They're items T1 and T2. I now move that the meeting be closed to the public pursuant to Section 254J of the Local Government Regulations 2012, discuss the confidential items. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor Bartels. All those in favour?
Aye.
That's it. Those against? No. So moved. So I now ask those in the gallery to please leave the meeting room, and we will suspend the live stream and we'll invite you back shortly. So, fellow councillors and members of the community, item T1 is a request in relation to waste collection. So I now move that the council provide a reduction of $2,049 for waste collection charges to the property known as Lot 3 on RP 126227, Lot 1 on SP 146358, Lot 3 on RP 31486, Lots 1 and 3 on RP 49246, and Lots 1 and 2 on RP 903134. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconder is Councillor Honour. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? No. So moved. Next item is item T2, request for concession. I now move in accordance with section 1201 brackets, C brackets, of the Local Government Regulation 2012, that council provides a concession for one waste collection service to the property known as Lot 2 on RP 211157 for the 2021-22 financial year. Can I have a seconder, please? Second is Councillor McLaughlin. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Nil. So moved. This brings to conclusion the business of today's meeting. The next ordinary meeting is due to be held on the 28th of September 2021 in Council Chambers here in Bundaberg. But just prior to closing, I just want to, as a community and for families and friends, to certainly again show our support for our Paralympians who are just doing an incredible job representing themselves, their families, their communities, the whole of Australia, and their tenacity, their discipline, their courage certainly is inspirational for all members of the community and the future generations, and all the athletes that we see, our own athletes from Australia, but those from around the world. It certainly is incredible, and it will be lasting in relation to the influence on future generations. So I now close the meeting at, what time we got? 11:07, and thank you for attendance. Thank you. Thank you. Good.